Storm Report. I'm your fill-in host, Tim Gooszen. Kevin Derryberry on assignment tonight. He is somewhere else here in the state of Arizona, so I get the great privilege of being the co-host tonight, and I'm joined by Ed Cole on the far end in the red shirt. Ed, Mr. Cole, how are you, sir?
Mr. Gooszen, good evening, sir. How are you?
It is a great evening to talk about swim, to talk about softball, and to talk about baseball. We're going to cover all of those and a few other things here along the way, but it should be a fun show. We're going to send a team off to nationals. We're going to talk about teams that have inspirations to go to nationals, but they got a lot of work to do before they get there. So, again, welcome to episode 18 of the Storm Report. Tim Gooszen and Ed Cole. And joining us right here in the middle is Brad Herring, coach of both men's and women's swim here at Arizona Christian. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be with you guys.
Coach, you're a little bit busy. You got to get on a plane tomorrow and head over to Georgia to get ready for nationals.
Yes.
You got to be excited about this. I know everything's coming at you pretty fast, but what your team was able to do in Utah over the weekend, breaking all kind of records and qualifying for nationals, and now you guys are on the verge of moving on to something even greater. Come in the morning when you guys go cross country. How excited are you to take your teams across country and get those men and women started?
It's going to be great. Last year, nationals were canceled. Ruined a lot of people's hopes and dreams. This year, the girls qualified fairly early on their relays, and the guys got kind of like guys do. They wait a little longer than gals, and they got their hunger and their unity together, the desire to go, and they made it. And so since then, we've just added more to the national group, national team, which that was the whole goal this year, get as many as we can to the big show and see what it looks like, get the experience, and then next year just go ahead and show them who we really are. That's kind of what it is. That's the way it works usually. But we have a lot of contenders, so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. This is what we've been training morning and evening since September. A lot of workouts.
Coach, take us back to St. George. You were just there. You were there for the PCSE Conference Championships. Actually, on the men's side, you highest NAIA school with their finish. Walk us through that weekend.
Yeah, it was long. 4-day meets. Swim meets are long deals. Prelims and finals. And we started out the first day with the 800 freestyle relay, which we have not even swum the whole year. And our girls and guys qualified for nationals that day, which was it's just a dream come true because we got more to go to nationals and experience, what they train for. When you're swimming 4 hours a day and lifting weights and trying to do school, some of them working, that's a huge commitment. So to see them achieve what they wanted to do was we were very happy. I wish that the other 3 days of competition we could have counted those times, but we'll show them those times at nationals because we'll still get to swim many of those events. One
of the oddest facts of the year is that the first day of their conference competition was the only day that counted towards nationals.
Yeah.
Why the NAIA wouldn't budge? Several conferences had that problem. The NAIA would not budge, and they said only this date. Anything after it doesn't count. So everybody tried, so they had to do individual time trials, and that just made everything a 4-day process even longer. So the women finished 10th out of 15, and second as the highest qualifying NAIA. What do you like about the women?
The women swam really well. Westmont edged ahead of us, but we're on their trail. But swimming against some of those teams, Division II, they conquered Fresno Pacific, which is that's always fun to do. It's a great competition. I know a lot of those coaches, they're good friends of mine. So when you can go to a conference meet and shake the hands of other coaches and the camaraderie, that's what it's all about. It's about sportsmanship. It's about, even that one day that we only had to qualify, that is an example of life. Life throws you curveballs, and you got to adjust. And we weren't the only team that had that rule thrown upon us. So it's kind of like you can complain and miss it, or you can say, that's the train, let's catch it. So that's what they did.
So you caught the train wearing your lovely sombreros.
Sombreros, yes.
There's a picture of you on the website, and the whole team's in sombreros. You got to break that down. What is that all about?
A great story.
Well, it's something that went back to when I was head coach at Mesa Aquatics. I bought a sombrero from Mexico that stood out way far. I mean, it could protect you from any rainstorm, and sometimes you could fly away in a strong wind. But we put cheers on that. We put verses on that, and we put it on our swimmers before they went on the blocks, and it was a really good psych up time. So my assistant coach Rob Oldak said, "Hey, what do you recommend? Should we do the sombreros?" And sometimes in sports they can get so serious that they choke themselves, that they get blinded, and so fundamentally, I think sports is play. When you can play, you can relax more. The teams can get to see there's a personality behind the eye of the tiger kind of thing. And so we decided to do it. We even brought, I think, 50 markers to mark up different verses and one word, strong voice, like Randy Chambers would say. So we marked up every sombrero. They all had... each one of those had. Now, fitting in a 15-passenger van with those was another story. But at the meet, it was fun. Everybody complimented us. And when it's all said and done, you go back to memories in your college years. To me, it's the lifetime friendships and the fun that you have, not just, I did this time or I got second. Or it's about team. And so we're all about that. I'm glad we're not wearing those on the plane to Georgia. I am glad about that.
Are they making the trip though?
There will be some that go, but we got another idea when we're there, and I can't disclose that yet because
there may be swimmers listening.
Yeah, yes. I might have to kill you.
It's a trade secret.
Yeah.
Well, let's not go down that road.
Okay.
I would appreciate that. So let's highlight some of the swimmers that you got going to nationals. I know you have the twins, and first of all, your roster is one at Arizona Christian that's very international flavored.
Yes.
Like our tennis teams and some others that have a lot of international flavor. So you got a lot of different parts moving in your team. Let's talk about your team going into nationals.
Yeah, I recruit internationally on purpose. The good book says every kingdom, every nation, every tribe. Some of the characters we have that came in from Belgium, the twins, they, if anyone, upgraded the training level of Americans. Americans think we're best at everything, been around the world, and the good old twins brought it in a whole new work ethic. Not that they didn't work hard before, but seeing that, the desire, it's all about desire and consistency, and so the twins did that. The South African, Caden, came in, did the same thing. And so really they raised the bar. The coach can yell as much as they want. They can do jumping jacks and all that, but when it comes down to it, it's the team that's got to decide what level they're going to go at, and that's what we got from Belgium and South Africa and Colombia. We got a girl from Colombia that's a spark plug, our breaststroker on the relays, and so the Americans had a choice to step it up or step over, kind of thing, and
or get stepped over.
Right, but the whole cultural thing is also enriching. It's not just work ethic; it's understanding. The kids from Belgium are coming in speaking another language, so they got to deal with that. That's amazing, and they're doing really well. They're team players.
So what time does your flight? Here, go ahead and get that. It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
It's the president. No, I'm good.
What time does your flight and your travel begin in the morning?
We leave 10 a.m., but we're going to gather here for a prayer meeting before we go, and make sure everybody's got all their luggage. When you swim, you have to bring your bag of swim equipment separate, carry on, so you don't lose it, because a lot of times you can lose luggage, and you do not want to lose your $500 race suit or your goggles. Or your cap or things like that, and the training devices. So we're ready to go. Yeah.
With it being such a quick turnaround, Coach, from the PCSU championships to NAIA, what's the preparation been like? Have you had to modify things at all, or you just kind of build off of what you did in Utah over the weekend? What's your preparation like on a quick turnaround?
That's a good question. The most beautiful word for a swimmer is the word taper. Taper means that you go from a base training of up to 60,000 yards a week. Some distance swimmers go 85,000. Katie Ledecky probably goes over 100,000 a week. But that's your base, and then you go into speed training, and then you finally taper. And so their base is big enough. We're tapering really from conference. Conference, we weren't as rested as we are right now. And everybody responds differently. Bigger muscle groups need a little more rest. Distance swimmers need to know that they can train a little bit more than sprinters, so they know they can finish those longer races. So it's really pretty individual. But so we write out the workouts according to the races and the best we know read on each swimmer. But truthfully, I have a story about a guy from Cal Berkeley that's I tell every year to him, and it's basically such a mental thing. And the story goes, a guy from Berkeley got hit by a milk truck standing out in a Holiday Inn and broke his ribs, hurt some organs, all that. He qualified for NCAA Division I, but he ended up going against doctor's orders. He ended up swimming 2 weeks later after the Pac-10s back then. And but when they came in, Cal Berkeley came in. That was Matt Biondi's team. They came in last on purpose. They had a T-shirt on that said "More powerful than a moving milk truck." More, able to leap over milk trucks in a single bound, all that. And they came in, and it was intimidation. It was desire. Seeing that guy swim again with injured, broken ribs and not breathing right, that juiced them up to go. So I just tell anybody, if a table falls on your arm, forget about it. You're going to go fast. It's a mental game, and that's what we're training them to be, overcomers.
We're speaking with head coach Brad Herring of the Men's Women's Swim Club. And, Coach, you got to talk about your training facility. That's something new on your docket this year. The Firestorm Recreation Center also has a pool in the back, and you've gotten to take advantage of that with a lot of hard work, I might add, prior to it being ready for our swimmers to jump into the pool. It was a little warm. It wasn't filtering right, and Mr. Brad here took care of that. Was there constantly making sure the pump was working and filtering water like it's supposed to. So tell us about the Firestorm Recreation Center.
Well, just like ministry, you got to be a jack of all trades. If you specialize in one area and you think you got it down, you don't. We're blessed that Hobby Lobby donated the money to buy that facility. It's 6 lanes. It's deeper on one side. It's a great training pool. Anybody train in there and go fast, with the waves that are there, they're going to rock and roll at the big meets. It's just a blessing to be able to go over there, walk over there. If we have a morning workout at 6:15, it's not like driving 20 minutes and being dangerous. It's warm. Our maintenance guy helps out. I'm in there doing the best I can. But it's been probably the greatest gift for an upgrade, besides some of the Europeans coming over to upgrade us. To train in our own facility and have it good enough to where they can know that they're going to go faster really anywhere else with the right lane lines, the blocks, and the width of the pool, overflow gutters. So we like our wave pool. It's good.
Well, Coach, you have to think about your career, and this is kind of my final question for you. Your career, you were a 4-time All-American at Arizona State. You helped start the Grand Canyon program. You've been a coach at Northern Arizona University. And then you went to Washington, spent a lot of time up there, about 12 years or so, and then you decided to come back to the heat and join us back in the desert. So as you're preparing for a race, and when you were a swimmer yourself at Arizona State, and now you're a coach, and you've coached in the Olympics, you coached with Brazil, and you coached with Mexico. Not too many people can say that, especially not on this campus, but you've been to the Olympics as a coach, and you almost qualified as an individual. What is tougher to prepare for mentally, when you were an athlete or now as a coach?
That's a good question.
It's a really good question.
Good, I stumped him.
Good question, Tim.
It's challenging both ways. As an individual and swim for the United States swim team against Russia and Holland and France and Canada, you want to do the best for your country. That is in itself very inspiring. You don't want to let anybody down. So just the other day, a friend of mine sent me some national pics with Mary T. Maher and Rowdy Gaines and some of the big names back then. But I think Tim, to answer that, I think the challenge is in that instance, I have choice on how it's going to go in my mind and body to some extent. When you're coaching 24, 25 athletes, you can wish, pray, beg, challenge with hamburgers, cookies, whatever else. But eventually, your greatest, it's actually your greatest spiritual thing too, is choose. Choose for this day who you're going to serve. Choose for this day how your mindset's going to be. I'd say it's an even toss-up because certainly swimming against the best of the world, I know how tough that is for sure. But actually trying to help others get to their highest level, whether it's national or in their conference, I don't really have any control over that. So I'd say that's a wash. They're both very challenging. I don't know how to answer that better than that because I can't choose for them. I can only do the best I can to get the right training in, inspire every day, and help them with their mindset, especially when they hit a wall and they're ready to say the whole thing's bad, because it's not. Swimming short course is underwater gymnastics. It's not just swimming. You have to hit a wall the right way and come off with speed. That's where your greatest speed is, your energy. Water's 800 times more dense than air, so you're against resistance. That's a giant that nobody really. Still, they're getting faster. They're both challenging, and I like challenges. But they're also the team is so fun. This reminds me of my Brazilian team. They have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. We're going to have fun there too.
Coach, you mentioned the word inspiration. You inspiring your men and women. How do they inspire you? On the flip side.
Yeah, I think the biggest inspiration, just like conference meet, is the overcoming. They hit a wall. They literally. We had a guy that was on fire, Jacob Stevens. It's like he couldn't swim slow, and his last event, 100 free, he was on to make it in the finals, and he missed his third turn just completely, and he could have gone out of there going, it's terrible, and write the whole thing off. He didn't. He congratulated the guy next to him. He said, I know what I did wrong, and the next time I'm going to nail it. That's somebody who learned through the process. This is all about learning, and it goes into life lessons. So I get inspired, obviously, when they swim fast because you work so hard for that. But I get more inspired when they hit a wall, which everyone will. There's no way it's going to be your best day every day. And then they choose, they get behind the team, there's prayer, and there's nothing like a team just never giving up. Perseverance is one of the most underrated things on any team. So that inspires me.
Well, Coach, from those of us at ACU and those of us here who are involved with your show, we wish you nothing but success.
Thank you, Tim.
In Columbus, Georgia, coming your way. Columbus Aquatic Center, the Firestorm are coming. Watch out.
Thanks, buddy.
So
congratulations,
we've
Coach.
again been speaking with Coach Brad Herring, and we're going to change it up. We're going to go to the turf when we come back, and we're going to talk softball coming back on the other side with Taylor Schleisman and Claire Buckley. We'll take a break. Be right back.
Take a quick pic, Coach. Put your headset back on for social.
feel like I'm in class.
Okay, hold on. We're going to be live here. So. Welcome back to the Storm Report, episode number 18. We just finished up talking with head coach Brad Herring of the swim team, and now it is my privilege to welcome to the show the softball duo, the double play duo of Claire Buckley and Taylor Schleisman. Taylor Schleisman, of course, playing second base for the Firestorm, and Claire Buckley, shortstop for the Firestorm. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I know you're all timid and worried about what I'm going to ask you and what we're going to ask.
We're nervous.
I don't think you should be nervous. I think I've been around you guys enough to know that you guys will have a good time. So let's get right into it. All right, so for you ladies, this is your third season here with the Firestorm. And let's be honest, you've been through 3 coaches in 3 years, and that's got to be kind of a weird thing. Now, there is a link, the fact that Coach Gutierrez is still part of the program. He's been with the program all 3 years, but you were brought here by Coach Wells, and now you're under Jimmy, and now you have Coach Maben.
Yep.
Walk us through that process, both of you.
You want me to go first? Sure. Yeah, coming in, we definitely were excited to play for Coach Walsh. That was kind of what we were expecting. We were excited. Bomb kind of got dropped on us sophomore year. And then that season was one where we learned patience. I think that's the best way to put it. And then coming into the summer, we really didn't know what was going on. Kind of were a little lost, kind of like lost puppies, kind of wandering around. And now we got blessed to be able to play underneath Coach Maben, which has been a blessing.
Taylor, what do you got?
I definitely agree with Claire. I think coming in, we were so excited to play for Coach Welsh. I mean, she's awesome and is a big name around here. And then Coach Jimmy held his stance the best he could, but it was definitely hard. But Coach Maben has taken us under his wing, and it's been incredible so far. So.
Well, you ladies are off to a fairly good start on the season. You've had a couple ups and downs, but you got a big week coming.
Yes.
Taking on the number 5 team in the country and the 2-time defending NAIA champ. No pressure. There's no pressure.
Nope, none.
You're just going to go up to Ashland and have a good time. But as you've prepared for this season, you were on your 3rd coach, but this season was a little different in of itself because now you have a field out there called ACU softball field. When you came here, you played at Dream City, maybe the worst softball field ever invented for softball fields.
Yes.
No offense, Dream City. And you played there one time, and then you had the opportunity to jump on the ACU softball field, and that's where you're going to call home forevermore. So tell us about how that totally changes your mindset when you know you got a field like ACU softball that you go and practice on and play on every single day.
Well, obviously Dream City was terrible, so having to drive 30 minutes to practice every day was not fun. But just knowing we have a place we can call home and go out to just hit when we want to, and we can walk right from our dorm to the field, which is very convenient. So
Yeah. And I think it's more than just a field. I know it's a safe space. We go out there to clear our heads when things aren't going well. We just need to think. So, yeah, it's home.
Especially later on in the year when the turf gets to about 150 degrees, you just want to go and lay out there.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
Yep. We got to get a nice tan, the UV rays.
You're going to get a tan on the backside, too.
Absolutely.
On the field. So that's something that I know that is a challenge on a turf field. It does get hot. But just walk us through the difference between there's 2 fields in the conference that are turf fields. Only 3 schools in all of the GSAC have their own softball fields on campus. 2 of them are turf fields, Menlo being the other one, and of course us. Vanguard has a dirt field, nitro field on their campus. Everybody else is off, and I think they're all grass off. But how is that such a different experience when you're playing on a turf field and now you're going to a grass field? Like when you get up to Ashland this week, I think it's pretty thick grass and pretty nice field, I think, but it's going to be different. How is that? What is that mindset like? Is that any different?
I think we have had experience from going from turf to dirt, and it is different. Obviously it's going to be very different. But one of the things that we've kind of focused on is we played on dirt for 16 years. So it's different, but we're just getting back to our roots, Mm-hmm. So obviously the ball is going to bounce a little bit differently. It's going to come at us maybe a little hotter, but, we're just kind of going back to where we started playing and how we started playing.
Taylor?
I agree. The turf is 100% better than the dirt, in my opinion, because it's never a bad hop. It's always bounces pretty much right to your glove. Very convenient. But we kind of saw the struggle when we played Embry-Riddle on the dirt. You can tell we were definitely timid. We we were expecting the ball to hop when it always stayed down. So, but I think that's something we overcame 2 weekends ago. So.
All right, Ed, what do you got?
Ladies, the relationship that you have, shortstop to second baseman, that's a critical relationship when it comes to softball and baseball in general. How have you guys grown that relationship and built that over the time that you've played together? Because that's the middle of the infield. Those are two really important positions on a softball team.
So funny you say that. We are actually best friends on and off the softball field, so that is not an issue in and of itself. We actually met our senior year of high school at a recruit weekend at ACU, so we've known each other for a very long time.
Too long.
And yeah, some may say that, but but yeah, it's special that we finally get to do this. This is what we kind of wanted to do since our senior year of high school, and junior year we're kind of living it out. So it's a special time.
Mm-hmm. It's a blast.
That's an interesting dynamic that you met at a recruiting weekend. Yet
Yes.
You're from Clovis, California,
Yes.
and you're from Elizabeth, Washington.
Colorado.
I meant that. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, Colorado.
Yeah, that
sorry.
state, yeah.
One state
One
with
of
a
them.
C. Yeah,
You know,
one
it's
of them. So how did that work out that you just, happen to be here? You guys aren't roommates too, are you?
Just a chance.
We are roommates. Yeah, we are
I didn't know
roommates.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you are.
Yeah, we are together most parts of the
24/7.
day.
We can't get away from each other, you know?
We talk like each other. People get us confused. I'm Taylor half the time. Yeah, it's a good time.
Well, I can tell you it doesn't help somebody that's used to having a second baseman wearing number 27 with a different name suddenly wearing 27 on the field earlier this season. And how many times I almost said, now batting no, that's Taylor.
It was definitely me. I
Yeah.
heard you get them confused a couple times, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's also the announcements, the national anthem.
Yeah. I knew that was coming. Yes, I messed up. We did a national anthem and a prayer after we
There you
did, before we did the starting lineups, and halfway through praying, I went, this is not right. And, of course, Claire was kind enough to remind me of it.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that. So it was good times had by all. But I have to ask you, number change. You're wearing 31 now. First 2 years you're wearing 30, and then 27 was just because of your number. We had some jersey issues with your number, but why the number change?
Well, I originally wanted to be 31 since I got here.
Okay.
Coach Walsh told me that the jerseys are 1 through 30, and that 31 was not possible. So I toughed it out, and then Coach Maven came, and the first thing I asked him was, can I be number 31? He said, of course. Jerseys got handed out. 31 jersey was lost in China. So that's how I was 27. China shipped our jerseys, and now I'm 31.
What's special about 31?
When I was growing up, my mom and dad both played slow pitch softball, and my dad was always number 31, and he's my biggest fan.
So you leave out your mom?
Oh no, my mom was 13, so switch those.
Okay,
it was
all right,
pretty
all right.
much the same thing.
Fair enough. Speaking of moms, you have a mom that comes all
I
the way
do.
from Clovis.
I do, yes.
Just about every game that we've had. Now, ironically,
Absolutely.
I don't think she was here this weekend. I didn't.
No,
see
she
her.
was not. She was not.
But most of the time, your mom has made the trip from
Yep.
Clovis. What does that mean? Like to you as a player and.
It means everything. I think my parents are definitely my biggest support system. And the fact that they just continually make the trip out here, I know it's not easy, especially my dad's an accountant, so it's definitely not easy for my family so in the spring, but it means the world to me that they take time to come out here and just watch me do the thing I love the most. So.
And it makes me laugh because your mom always asked, most people say, where are the game notes, where are the game programs? Your mom always asks for the day program.
Absolutely.
Because that's from what? What's that from? You should know because that's what she tells me all the time. It's from the rodeo.
There you go. Yeah, the rodeo. Yeah,
She
day
said,
program. See,
it's
just
called the
went
day
to
program at the radio, and I go, okay. So she always asks, hey, where'd the day program? The rodeo's over there.
Yeah,
But it's always a hoot to have your family there, and obviously they mean a lot to you. Big support system, even though maybe not your parents every time, but I'm sure that they're when they have almost a twin in the family, they're like, oh yeah, we'll support Taylor too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ed, anything?
Claire, for you, just looking at your numbers over the 3 years, they've steadily increased. What is it about this program, and what is it about you that allows you to get these numbers? And from year to year, you just continue to get better and better. And do you see yourself getting better every year?
I think a lot of it is just the team. I mean, I think they push all of us to be better. I know, we we have a unique culture where we can help each other out on our swings, on our fielding, and it's not, why is she telling me to do this? It's, you're right, like I can feel something. So I think it's just the culture has been built upon since we've been here and we've seen it grown, and I think it just our numbers are reflecting that. So, yeah.
That's really cool.
The chemistry between you two obviously is there. What's the chemistry like on the team as a whole? Like, who's the gel? I have a feeling I know the answer to this, actually, but who's the gel that keeps this team together?
The gel, I think, I don't.
Everyone.
We genuinely just
love
love
each other.
Being around each other. We're around each other a lot, and
Yeah.
we have not gotten tired of each other yet. Hopefully,
It'll come.
We
It'll
don't.
come.
Well, good, because you're getting on a plane to go to Ashland.
Yes,
here
we are.
in a few
Very
days,
soon.
a couple of days, so
Very soon.
don't get tired of each other too soon.
Yeah.
I would think that you guys, I think you guys are both captains, right? I think I'm aware of that. So as the captains, I would think that everything kind of revolves around you. When I see you guys on the turf, that's what the impression I get as well. I think ACU softball kind of runs how Claire and Taylor and the other Taylor, if you name Taylor, you name about four
There's
girls on the
4 of
team.
them, so.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
So how we recruited a whole bunch of Taylors, I don't know, but y'all are good, so we'll keep you around. And then squeezed in the middle of that, all of that is, of course, Jade Phillips batting left-handed, getting the slap bunts, getting on, and doing all your work. But what impresses me most, I think, about you ladies is you do what Coach Maben asked you to do. You're leading the team in home runs and RBIs. You're our number 3 hitter. You should be up there. Oh, Coach, just leave the bat in my hand. I'm going to whack it away. We're showing pictures as this is going on of things that are of you guys in action. And one of the pictures I chose of you was laying down a sac bunt. You're a number 3 hitter. You're laying down a sac bunt. A lot of number 3 hitters would be like,
Yeah.
I'm not down with that.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not
going to
doing that.
swing for the fences every single time. And Coach Maben says, all right, let's do it. We're going sac bunt. And you're like, all right, boom, done. And I can't be impressed with the fact of that's how you guys lead your team. You lead your team through example. If I'm asked to do this, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how we're going to operate. And Coach Maben says, lay it down, and you say, done. And that's how we won a softball game on Saturday. We walked off with a 5-4 win over Ben Mesa. Nice little double down the line from Phillips. Next batter up. Okay, we're just going to drop that sack bunt down. Or actually
perfect.
ground out. No, ground out. Move her up. Give yourself up. I'm just going to roll her over, move her up. And then
Taylor Alto.
comes
Squeezed her
through,
in, yep.
squeezes her down. So that is when ACU softball is running and doing well, you guys are doing a great job with that. So, ladies, I know there's so many things that happen in your life, but Ed wants to know. I know he does. I can see it on his face. Ed wants to know if you're playing music in the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Who's leading it, and what is it?
Well, Claire will be leading the aux chord
I got a
in
killer
the locker room.
pregame-
She actually has a
pregame
really good
playlist.
playlist.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We've listened to it way too much, though. I'm
It's
really
fantastic.
tired of the songs.
It's great.
But we listen to everything.
Yeah.
Which
is?
We got some.
You got to put out names.
You know what's funny?
Just
Actually,
Whitney Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some
have
Whitney
half
Houston.
the baseball walk-up
Yeah,
songs
you
in our
got-
playlist
great,
because
yeah.
they're that good.
Yeah.
So
We got some Drake. Yeah, we got a little bit of everything. You know, you gotta flavor it up.
I like that.
Yeah.
Please tell me Peanut Butter and Jelly did not make
No,
that.
I don't know where that came from.
horrible song.
I
Not be on
don't
there.
know what happened there, but
My wife was at the game on Saturday, and my wife works with preschool kids in a speech fashion. She's a speech assistant, and my wife goes, "That's a preschool song."
Yep.
That would be Travis Armstrong if you want to blame anyone.
Well, no, they've been told they have to put a playlist together, and somehow, of all the songs that make it, Peanut Butter and Jelly is the song that makes it. And then we asked Coach Gutierrez, "Hey, Coach, do you like the song?" He's like, "Oh, this is my favorite song." Wait, what? Are you kidding me?
Oh, my goodness.
This is not your favorite song. Oh, yeah, it's the best. I love this song. Ay, ay, ay. But, all right, it's such a fun environment with the team. Obviously, we love having you out here at ACU softball. Let's talk go back a little bit. Coach Maben, what is, I know he's got some quirks and some fun things. Give me a quick story on Coach Maben.
Oh man,
We have a lot.
Yeah.
We make fun of him
a lot.
a lot about his socks. It's a
sock tan.
horrible sock tan
Horrible.
line.
I mean, it's awful.
It's
I mean,
really bad.
Yeah, he made fun of my tan line today, and I said, "Pull down your socks. Let's see that." And he didn't want.
He also always wears these pants, these cargo pants that have
Yes.
like 700 pockets in them.
Hence the title Cargo Pants.
Yes.
I know, but
Yes.
he doesn't have stuff in all of
I was
his
going to
pockets.
ask, is there stuff in there?
No,
Okay.
there's
It doesn't
nothing.
make
It's for
sense.
show. So we still aren't sure
He's
who dresses him
like
in the morning.
He is like a typical dad. He is a typical dad. I mean, you see the memes of like what a dad looks like. Yeah, that's Coach Maven. Yeah, that is Coach Maven. I mean, what a guy.
Since Coach Maven and I are basically about the same age, give or take a year,
Hey, we do have a story.
Tell me.
So his car is not his brightest joy. He's not a huge fan of his car. He's grateful for wheels, but not for the car. And a question was asked. I may not say who it was from.
I asked the question.
If he had the car since he was in high school. It is a 2005 car, so there's,
You'd have to see it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
a
a blue
little rough.
Saturn. You see it.
I know exactly what it is.
Yes.
And I was just curious how
parks-
long he's had it. 'Cause
Yeah,
it seems,
he parks it by the field so it gets hit, but it's been hit once.
It's been hit once.
Yeah.
And here's the strange part of this story that continues on.
You have the same car.
I drive a 2005 Saturn V.
No, you don't.
I do too, and it's great. And I asked Coach
Absolutely.
Maven. I've asked him about it. He's having the same problems I'm having. His air conditioning does not work in the state
And
of
your
Arizona.
windows don't go down?
Oh, my windows go down.
that's good.
I will die if I live, but my air conditioning does not work. I drive a 2005 Saturn View.
Yeah, that makes so much more
in
sense.
the state of
Thank you for
Arizona.
sharing that.
So, yes, that's 100% like another thing. Oh, thanks. You're comparing
Yeah.
Coach Maven, an old guy, and now I'm sitting here talking to you, and there's two
Yeah.
things in common.
Oh, boy.
If the shoe fits, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
a little bit.
Well, what a joy it's been to have you guys on. Hopefully there's something that people will enjoy out of this. I'm sure there's a lot of things. And, ladies, I know you're going up to play Southern Oregon, and I know it's the experience. You're going back to his hometown. Here's the ironic twist. The bus driver that you're going to get to meet you at the airport is going to be his dad.
Absolutely.
His dad
I just found that out
Really?
today.
His dad drives for Southern Oregon the
Yeah.
bus, and then he's coming to pick the
Yep.
ACU softball team up at the airport. And Coach Maven's dad is going to be okay on the road. So it should be a
that'll
good time.
be fun.
And good luck this week. And I'm sure we'll have your ladies back on, somebody else back on for the team. But lots of fun things happening. And no funner than watching you guys slide on the turf across home plate as you almost end up in the backstop. I think that's your favorite thing to do
It
on
is.
on the turf. I see it happen a lot. I see you do it. Jaden does it, and you guys just take off and you're sliding by, and you're like, all right. So we've been talking with the shortstop duo and second base duo, basically double played combo for ACU softball. Taylor Schleisman to my immediate left, Claire Buckley there in the middle. Ladies, thanks for taking the time to join us here on
Yes,
this
thank you,
Monday
ladies.
evening.
Of course.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and we're going to stay with the baseball, softball concept. Baseball guys coming up next. We're going to talk baseball right after this.
Take a quick pic, bro.
All right.
For social.
Yeah, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
Okay, let me slide over some.
All right. Are we in picture here, Robert?
We in frame?
All right, we're good.
All right, good. All right, cool.
Welcome back to the Storm Report here live from the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. Tim Gooszen filling in as a host today. On the other side is Ed Cole. Now sandwiched in between us, we got a bunch of softball dudes. To my immediate left, here is Justin Ramirez, center fielder for the Firestorm, and to his left is Kurtis Roberts, one of the backstops, one of the catchers for the Firestorm. Gentlemen, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yep, thanks for having us.
So you guys have a little bit of interesting novelty things about you. Whenever you talk about Justin Ramirez, speed just pops off the page. Just this guy can run for days and days and days, and it makes it look so simple. I know there's an inside Parker 2 home run to his credit this season. Ironically, Claire Buckley, who was just our guest in the last segment, she got one on Friday against Park. She bounced it off the right center and then kangaroo over the girl's head, and she was in the dugout before the girl even had the ball again. So we got speed here, and we got a catcher that's as when you look at a catcher, a guy that doesn't wear batting gloves, a guy that just is like, I'm just a baseball player, I'm just a catcher, this is how we're going to roll. That's Kurtis Roberts to the two people from me. Gentlemen, again, thanks for joining us. So let's talk about your season. It's off to a pretty good start. I would say you guys are done pretty well. You like to, a couple of times you've liked to have the flair for the dramatic, make some comeback wins, or, I don't know, put 15 runs up in an inning just for the sake of doing it. Why not? We're pretty sure that that's the school record, by the way, in an inning. I know we've had at least one double-digit inning. I've done some stuff in the archives going back. It's nowhere that's published yet, but I have some stuff on like a Word doc or something. And I think it was like 11 or 12 that was previously done in one inning. So 15 runs in an inning, that's got to be – you almost get tired watching that, even though you're excited because you're scoring 15 runs. Tell me about that inning. Let's start there. That was just against OUAZ Friday?
Yeah.
Friday or Saturday, yeah.
Yep. I mean, it was good to put up that many, especially against a crosstown rival like that. And we had 3 home runs, so that's kind of pretty cool. And everyone was hitting just hit after hit after hit, so that's fun to be a part of.
Yeah, it was crazy that some guys in that one inning got 3 at-bats, when sometimes you only get 3 at-bats in a game.
Right.
Yeah, so interesting. And it was just like, oh, he's up again, he's up again, he's up again. So it was really interesting.
It's just one of those innings you don't want to ever end, right? You're just like, let's keep it going. Let's go back around again.
Pour it on.
Let's score 20, 25 runs in an inning.
Yeah.
Or do you actually want it to end at some point where you go,
We got to get out of here eventually.
I've got to go play some defense now.
This inning it's been an hour. I don't know. Yeah. So
I didn't even look. Did the same pitcher come out? Who was pitching? I didn't look to see who was pitching. Did the same pitcher return to the mound after the 15-run inning?
Well, I don't think so. Because I think they took out a pitcher or two in that inning. I think they used 2 or 3 pitchers.
No, I mean like for us, like for ACU. Who was on the bump? Did he come back? Because that's half an hour, 45-minute inning. Maybe an hour?
Who was pitching?
I don't.
It's okay.
I'm trying to think.
But if that's true, then that was a long time to be sitting. I can't imagine that they came back. But so you're here under the direction of Coach Joe Mack, and we had Coach Mack on the show a couple weeks ago, and he did a great job. But let's talk about the culture of your team. Obviously, there's things that you're still hoping change rapidly. We just talked with softball. Your field is still in progress. It's not quite ready yet, and it still needs a lot of work, but we're working on that. And so you guys are kind of traveling around. How does that impact the culture of your team when you have to go play, like you practice at Glendale High School sometimes, and you play it up out of Canyon View High School? Tell us about the culture of your team when you don't have a place to necessarily call home yet.
I mean, it's really... For us, like the way I see it is, it's pretty cool when you can still like have a together team when we don't have like a place to call home, and like it's super positive that we have a bunch of guys that have come together, even though if we have to drive 45 minutes just to practice, it's really awesome that we have just a bunch of guys that have come together, and even though like sometimes it's not the best, like we're making the best of it. So that's really cool. Even though if we have to travel or whatever, I mean, we still get to play baseball every day, which is, there's not too many people that get the chance to do that. So it's really awesome.
And Kurtis, I would imagine it would help you build your camaraderie. It would help you build relationships as you're trying to get to know your brother that's, to the left or right of you, wherever you guys are on the bus. You guys are getting that time together to bond and gel and talk and figure out this game of baseball that you play.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially I really enjoy, like, whenever we go on the road, like, whenever that might happen. I mean, we're kind of always on the road, but especially when we're on bus trips, like, that's when, like, it's funny because guys always talk about it. They're like, I feel so much better when I'm just with the team and just on the bus. Like, they feel at ease, and so that's really nice when we go on, like, a bus trip or whatever, because that even brings us closer to create those relationships. So, yeah, it's cool.
Justin, how about you? Bus culture, what's it like for you?
Oh, it's fun. I mean, we all listen to music or just hanging out, and those are the times when you look back 10 years down the road, like, the wins and losses count, but the time spending with your brothers on the bus, like, that's the those are the now that you really look back on and cherish.
You have family that comes and supports you.
Yes.
And we hear Justin echo through the stand. You know, let's go, Justin. Most of us have to stop and think about who they're even talking about because everybody just goes to J-Ram.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to think about who Justin is. But you have family that comes and supports you. Let's talk about the difference when you're able to have family in the stands versus last year when you had no fans in the stands. Canyon View High School didn't never allow fans. Some fans figured out how to sit like out in the dirt, be on left field, but you know, but you didn't really have fans in the stands. Tell me about that dynamic and how that's changed your season.
Yeah, well, it's definitely had nice, like, see familiar faces day in and day out at the games. I mean, they're my biggest supporters. Even when we couldn't have fans, they were out in the dirt. They were there every game, so it's nice.
So they were heckling you from behind last year when you were out in center field.
Yeah, they're always heckling me, catch a ball and stuff. But it's fun.
Yeah.
Curtis, what about you? Family support. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and dad have came out to a few series so far, and then my grandma might come when we go up to Jessup because I live pretty close to Jessup. So yeah, I mean, it's awesome to just have my parents there, and it's just awesome to have their support. It's awesome.
Have they come to many games? I don't hear Kurtis yell throughout the stands too often.
No, I mean, I'd say my folks are pretty quiet. They just like to watch, you know, just hang out, and yeah. So I mean, yeah, they're there. They've been to quite a few games. So yeah.
And you, of course, you're in your COVID year, so you would have been done last year. So
Yes,
you
sir.
had the opportunity to come back. Came from playing 2 years of junior college ball, and then joined us 3 years ago, and have gotten the opportunity to return.
Yep.
How was that? What kind of mindset is that for you when, like, I thought you were done, and just kidding, you get to play again?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's cool because, I mean, like I said before, most people don't get the chance to play college baseball, and if I get to play a fifth year, man, that's so cool. And I know a bunch of guys like J-Ram will probably get that opportunity to keep on playing for an extra year, and you never know where that could take you. And so I think that's a super cool opportunity that has happened. So, yeah.
Kurtis, for you, the 2 years you played at Butte College, how did that prepare you for what you're going through now at ACU and the success you're having here with the baseball team?
Yeah, I mean, junior college prepared me so much for just kind of how everything works in college baseball. I mean, especially at my program at Butte, everything was super structured, and my coach was really on us about some things, and it was a super good experience. Like, I really enjoyed junior college, and it prepared me for this day and like these last few seasons I've had, and it's kept me on the path that I'm on. So yeah.
So for you, what is this whole deal about not wearing gloves? Where did that come from? Where does this stem from?
For me, it's like a feel thing. Like I like to feel the bat for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I still wear a pro hitter just because I don't know. Like that's something that I've always done. But yeah, I just like to feel the bat. I don't know, when I wear gloves sometimes, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like I can get a good grip on the bat.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It doesn't hurt, though, when you're playing it and it's 45 degrees outside and you foul pitch off the end of the bat?
I mean, that's temporary. It goes away after a little bit.
Well, your hands are already numb anyway because it's too cold?
Yeah, you're like, that's fine. It goes away.
And Tim, plus him being a catcher, his hands are already strong for catching those balls every single time.
They're probably pretty calloused.
Yeah, they're pretty
they're pretty, yeah. They've seen some stuff, you know.
So for you, Justin, you wear the batting gloves, but one thing that I want to ask you about, when you've hit a ball into the gap and you're turning and burning, and you're rounding, like turning a double into a triple, thinking about that inside the park home run, and the wind is just flying through your hair, and the rest of us would have been like still rounding first base, and Justin's already almost to third. What's that like, rounding the bases with just that much speed? I mean, let's call it what it is.
I mean, it's fun. It just kind of like black out a little bit. You kind of just focusing on going around. I mean, when you know you hit it in the gap, you're like, as soon as I hit it in the gap, I'm thinking three right off the bat. So, I mean, it's kind of a rush.
All you're worried about is those little white dots every 90 feet. Make sure you hit them right.
Just don't miss them. Don't miss them.
Hey, J-Ram, so the fact that you can score 15 runs in the game against OUAZ, the following game in the doubleheader, you can score 5 runs. Is that indicative of how good this offense can be, that you guys can explode and have those kinds of innings whenever the situation dictates and you just take off like that?
Yeah, that just shows how deep our lineup is and shows a test to how much work we put in, and even beating Ottawa's ace the second game after a long game. That's a game that we had circled for a long time, and to execute what we came in to do shows just what we really could do for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you scored 20 runs in the first game, and then you shut them out in the second game. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I know for Coach Mack, he's like a lot like Coach Maben, where he's going to ask his 1 through anybody lineup. Anybody in the lineup. Free game for Button. Free game for, hey, I need to forget going to left. I need you to put a ball towards right field so we can move that runner up. Mm-hmm. When you know that's the mindset, 1 through 9, could be anytime drop down that bunt. I know usually for you it's drop down the bunt and run. It's not drop down to sacrifice usually, but it's drop it down and go. But when you have that mindset and you know that, at any time, Coach could be like, hey, we got to get that down. What does that mindset mean to you when you're going into it at bat? Are you worried about it, or are you excited about the potential of different opportunities?
I think it's just a selfless culture that we try to create, that anybody called on to do a specific job, is we're going to get it done no matter what. And it kind of excites me that I can leave the yard or I can drop down a bunt and help the team win.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
You've had a nice couple of walk-offs. One of them, it wasn't a bunt, that's for sure. It was a double. That was just the last game.
Yep.
Just to top off a nice cold night, and then okay, well, all right, let's just go ahead and walk this off right here. Let's just be done with it. You're supposed to play 7. Let's play 8, and then we'll walk it off. What were you thinking? What are you guys excited about when that happens?
Oh man, I don't. When that happens, I don't know if there's much going on in the head. You're running after that guy that hit that just to celebrate with him.
I always laugh, and I've seen the video of this. I always laugh because the guy that scores the winning run, he's at home plate by himself, and the dude that hit the ball, he's getting chased by everybody on the team, and the guy's like, "Hey, what about me?" Okay, nothing.
I'm here. Hello.
I'm good. I guess we're okay.
Yeah. I had something to do with this. Hello.
He got on. I mean, but so when Coach Max has a culture, and I know that one of the things that impresses people most when they think about baseball is the fact that you offer up the fact of having a team Bible study with the other team. There's not too many teams in America that are doing that, where they're going to the other team and saying, hey, we're going to have a team Bible study. We would absolutely love for you to join us. How does that impact your thought process towards the guys in the other dugout? I mean, obviously you want to beat them, but at the same time, as a team, you're putting forth, hey, we love you as brothers, and we just want the best for you. What does that change your mindset at all, or is that is what it is?
Yeah, I mean, that's like a really good question that sometimes you don't really think about on the spot, because you're trying to get into that game mode, but then that's a person, that's a human being, that's our brother. We should care about him, and we do, and that's why we ask him over and invite him to do this Bible study with us. But yeah, I mean, that's that dichotomy of we're here to win, but you're still our brother, And
Right.
so it's that interesting space for sure.
And I know you guys get to do the guest speaking concept. Every time I see the post, it's brother Kurtis brought the message today, and brother J-Ram, he brought it. So do you guys draw straws? Do you guys just, Coach says, you're it, you got the next one, you're like, what am I talking about? What's that process?
Yeah, I mean, go for it.
Coach Mack he sends a text the night before. He's like, pastor, whoever, and that's how we know. We just random.
And then you get ready for it. You start to prep. Right after you get that text, you're like, oh, I'm it. Here we go.
Start to sweat already. You're like, it's not for another 12 hours. But
you got to scramble and find something to talk about.
Yep.
So have you guys had your opportunities yet to be?
I have not yet. Kurtis did it this past weekend.
Yeah, I had one this last weekend.
And what'd you bring to the fellas?
Oh, so I did something a little different. So I brought in some stuff because sometimes I wanted to do something a little different. And so I brought some stuff from Jocko Willink. He was a Navy SEAL.
Okay.
And then I talked about how they build a team, the SEALs build a team, and how they operate. And I talked about some of stuff like that. And then I talked about just something else from another book that I've read, kind of about how the brain works and how in baseball you can go from a negative to a positive a lot quicker, because it's super hard in baseball. It's a game of failure. So it's really that's something that I thought could help our guys. So yeah, I switched it up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the response? Was there an altar call and 70 came to Jesus, and there were 3 baptisms as well, or what?
No, I mean, it was nice because some guys were like, "Oh, dude, that was really cool. I've never heard something like that before," and so yeah, it was interesting. So yeah.
Speaking of hearing, you have the new technology.
Yeah.
Where you got an earpiece in your ear the entire game. You're hearing Coach O Is it all the time? When are you hearing Coach O?
Oh, so yeah, it's nice because I'm not hearing him when he like breathes or anything. Like it's not like that. It's just when he presses the button.
Okay.
So like when he presses the receiver, then it's like fastball away, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, and then I just call it. So yeah, it's super cool. I mean, just for me as a catcher, like the tempo of the game, way better than the wristbands, like the number deal that we used to do.
Right.
The tempo of the game, especially with the earpiece, is just so much like quicker. So it moves a lot faster. Yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah.
Anything we can do to help speed the game along, sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm down with that. But
for sure.
The first game I saw you do it, I was at the Huntington game doing PA for you guys, and I saw you with it on, and I was like, well, I know it's allowed because that's actually that's kind of across the board.
Yeah.
Something that electronic devices are allowed on, like a volleyball bench or a basketball bench, or so they're starting to make those upgrades where they're allowed to use technology. Of course, the next thing we're worried about is when somebody figures out how to hack your system. He's like, fastball, and the coach's like, hey, there's a fastball coming. And you're like, wait, what? How do you know that?
So you got the frequency. You're
when they figure that out.
Yeah.
But having Coach O like talking in your ear, like you're getting ready to receive a pitch, the guy's getting ready to swing through it, you're concentrated, not getting hit, and he's like, "Oh, hey, J-Ram, go get ready, go get warmed up." You're like, "Wait, what? Hey, stop talking in my ear."
yeah. It's nice because it's just when he presses it down. So, but like sometimes when like our guys are cheering, I can hear that. They're like, "Let's go!" Blah, blah, and then you just hear, and then you hear just fastball, and like you just get a little bit of it. I'm like, okay, I got it. But like, yeah, it catches some outside noise, but other than that, it's awesome.
So why do not all of our catchers use it? Yeah, I think you're the only one that uses it with Coach.
I think me and Troy use it, and then Robbie sometimes. Yeah, Robbie hasn't used it yet, and I don't know the total reason why.
Okay.
But it's just like I think it depends on like the pitcher from time to time, like who's with what, and like how we are like relationship wise as a catcher to a pitcher, and like stuff like that. But yeah.
Do you ever override him?
There has been times when I'm like, I got this one.
Okay.
Just because like I've seen like how the hitter's swinging, and like I can see a little bit more than Coach O in that sense, and like how it's looking from my perspective. But that's only been like once or twice when I'm like, this one's on me. So.
Did it take a while to get used to it once you first started using the setup?
It just took like a day or two. Well, so it's interesting because like when I put it in, I can't really hear out of this ear. So it's like kind of nice because like I'm in my own little zone. I can't really hear sometimes, and it's a good and a bad because most of the time I can't hear the umpire. He'll like ask me stuff, and I'll be like, what? Talking this ear.
Use my good ear.
Yeah, use my good ear.
You're like, huh? Oh.
But yeah, and it's really easy to get it used to. Like you just hook it on, hook it in, and it's ready to go. So yeah, it's nice.
Anything special in the outfield, J-Ram, or are you still using smoke signals?
Yeah, we're just our normal conversations. Nothing too crazy.
Little shifting of the head like this and back up and all that. The one thing that's interesting, and as an outfielder, you could attest to that. I'm 100% sure of the Canyon View outfield. A little dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
How hard is that to judge balls when there's darkness around you?
Yeah, especially when that like 5:30 time hits.
Oh yeah.
And then the lights are kind of low, so when the ball gets above the lights,
It's gone.
Yeah, we have a specific call. We use black call. That's what we call when we can't see it.
Okay.
So we haven't had to use it yet. It hasn't hurt us yet, but in the past it's been hard to catch balls out there.
I know against was it Mid-American Nazarene? They had struggled big time with that.
That poor guy got hit in the eye.
Yeah, he got hit in the face.
I hope he's all good.
I'm sure he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. He's good. But that's what made me think of it is that I knew that there was some issues with, like, especially other teams. Like, it's so dark out there. Obviously, there needs to be another bay of lights, probably more towards center field.
Yeah, but they just need to like cone them up. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys handle that next time you guys there. Just climb up and take care of that. I'm sure Canyon they won't mind at all.
No.
Well, guys, thanks for your time. Ed, you got anything last that you?
No, just guys, thank you for coming through. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Yeah, this was
absolutely.
awesome. This was fun.
We appreciate your time, and we just, I like to make it fun. We could talk stats, we could talk all kinds of things, but we want to know about you guys. And so we appreciate you taking the time. We've been speaking with center fielder Justin Ramirez and catcher Kurtis Roberts here on episode 18 here live from the Tower Grill. And a special thanks to all of our guests tonight. Coach Brad Herring for men's and women's swim as they head off to nationals, and we just had Claire Buckley and Taylor Schleisman from the women's softball team, and again, these gentlemen here from ACU baseball. Another big weekend coming as always for you guys. Good luck as you head on into conference play. 6-2 to start the year. Let's make that number even better. Keep that 2 where it is and just build on that other one. So, gentlemen, thanks for your time. For my tonight partner for the show partner, whoever he is over there, Ed Cole.
Mr. Gooszen, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And this is Tim Gooszen signing off from the Tower Grill. And have a great rest of your Monday evening, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
Good night. Roll Storm.
All right. Now, leave your headsets on. We need a social. Okay, all right. Got to have it. Cool. So was it too scary?
No, it was fun.
Okay.